Hello everyone, my name is David Long and welcome to the introductory video for my new tutorial series on how to sight sing. Let's jump in. Sight singing is one of the most useful skills a musician can have regardless of your instrument. For singers, it's especially helpful because in addition to no longer having to rely on recordings to learn music, sight singing improves your ear, increases your knowledge of music theory, and it can help you develop your understanding of harmony and melody. Now, there are a lot of approaches to teaching this, but I break it down into 3 essential skills which make up what I call the sight singing equation. These abilities are to be able to identify note names and key signatures, then label the notes as scale degrees in your score, and finally to know scale degrees so well that you can hear them in your head before you sing them. Now, it takes time and commitment to develop these skills, especially the third one, which is why I'll be dedicating an entire video to each one that you'll need to view in order for sight singing to become second nature. I'll put links in the description once they're completed. The purpose of this video is to give you an introduction to sight singing, so I will just be giving you information along the way which you will eventually need to memorize. We'll keep things simple for now. The first important thing to know is that the vast majority of Western music is written in either a major or minor key. In music, a key is a group of spatially related pitches around which a piece of music revolves. So to start out, we're going to be singing in one of the simplest keys, which is C major. C major is made up of these notes. When sight singing, it's easiest to think of these notes not in terms of their letter names, but as numbers, which we call scale degrees. Why is this? Well, there's 15 major key signatures and 15 minor key signatures in all, each consisting of its own unique series of letter names. Instead of memorizing all 30 note sequences, it's actually far simpler to label them as numbers because the distance between each note in the scale is the same across all major keys. The same is true for minor keys, but the distances are slightly different. I'll explain that later. For now, just know that by using scale degrees, we're thinking of notes as functionally related to one another in a way that is consistent no matter what key you're in. This way, the distance between scale degree 1 and scale degree 5, for instance, will sound the same whether you're singing from C to G in the key of C major, or if you're singing from E flat to B flat in the key of E flat major. The more often you sing scale degrees, the more familiar you will become with what the notes feel like in a given key. Each scale degree has its own sort of identity, which you'll get to know the more you sing them. So to start honing this ability, let's begin with a simple sight reading exercise that uses scale degrees. But first, let's get warmed up by singing up and down a C major scale on scale degrees. You can rewind this part of the video as many times as you need. Here we go. For basses and tenors, you'll begin here. For sopranos and altos, you'll begin 1 octave higher, here. Let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For our first exercise, we'll be limiting ourselves to scale degrees 1, 3, and 5 as they're easy to memorize and provide the foundation to whatever key you're singing in. Let's begin by getting these notes firmly in your voice and in your memory. Listen to me play them on the piano one time, then sing along with the piano, then sing without the piano. And now with the piano. And once by yourself. Now that these notes are fresh in your memory, let's try to sing them out of context. Start out by imagining the sound of 1. Hear it clearly in your mind. and then sing it. Hopefully, this was the note you got. Next, try and remember the sound of 5 in your mind, and then sing that. Here's 5. And lastly, try and sing 3. Here's 3. You probably noticed that the specific sound of the notes you sang were ringing in your memory just before you sang them. This type of inner hearing is called Echoic Memory, and it's something we experience every day when we think about the sound of someone's voice who we know well, or a song you've listened to a bunch of times. The more you practice singing pitches as scale degrees, the more finely tuned your ability will be to hear notes in your mind before you sing them. And now that I've spoken for just a moment, let's see if the notes you were just singing are still fresh in your mind. Here's a melody for us to sight sing using the notes we were just singing. Make sure to sing the scale degree numbers underneath the notes as you go because it will help you remember them. If you need to pause and rewind the video to get the notes back, that's fine. Here's our starting pitch. I'll give you a 4 count and then you can begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. It should have sounded something like this. 1, 1, 5, 1, 3, 3, 5, 5, 1, 1, 3, 3, 5, 3, 1. Don't worry if you didn't nail this on the first try. After all, we are just at the very beginning of understanding the framework of skills necessary to sight sing. If you got totally lost just now, go ahead and rewind the video and try singing through the exercise again, including the warm-ups. Learning the distances between scale degrees and how they feel in your voice through repetition is very important in being able to sight sing well. If you're feeling ready to move forward, let's further reinforce the sense of how the different scale degrees relate by taking this same exercise we just sang and transposing it to a different key. Here's our new key center. And here's scale degrees 1, 3, and 5 in the new key. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Now go ahead and sing 1, 3, 5, 3, 1 to yourself. And now we'll sing through the same exercise as we did before, but this time in the new key. Here's your opening note. I'll give you a 4 count, and then you can start. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's what it should have sounded like. 1, 1, 5, 1, 3, 3, 5, 5, 1, 1, 3, 3, 5, 3, 1. Okay, so you've just sung the same melody in 2 different keys. Hopefully you're starting to internalize that the same sequence of scale degrees sounds the same in relation to one another, even when you're singing in a different key and in a different register of your voice. Again, if this didn't go perfectly, don't worry about it. This is a difficult skill to develop, which requires a lot of repetition, so feel free to go back and sing through these exercises as many times as you need. Now that you've gotten a sense of what's involved in sight singing, let's take a new exercise and use it as a model to go through the 3 steps I mentioned at the beginning of the video, which you need to have down to be able to sight sing well. To review, the 3 steps are to identify note names and key signatures in your score, then go through and label the notes as scale degrees, and finally, to know scale degrees so well that you can hear them internally before singing them. Here's the next exercise. Step 1 is to identify what key signature is being used and what notes make up the exercise. Now, like I said before, there will be a separate video out soon that will explain exactly how to do this, but for now we're just going to use an answer key. As you can see, we have 4 sharps in the key signature, which means we're in the key of E major. Now we need to find out what the other notes are in the exercise so we can figure out where scale degree 1 is. Since we're in the key of E major, scale degree 1 is going to be an E. After that, we can label the rest of the notes as scale degrees based on their distance from 1. According to this answer key, the first note of the exercise is in fact an E, which means we now know where scale degree 1 is. Now we can count our way up the staff and find out which scale degree the next note is. Notes on the staff are written either on a line or in a space between the lines, and they alternate between lines and spaces as you ascend or descend one step at a time. Since 1 is on a line, scale degree 2 occupies the next space. From here, we can see that the next note is 3, and the note after, which skips up to the next line, is 5. If you look across the rest of the exercise, you'll notice that all of the notes we just labeled repeat several times, and there's only one remaining note we haven't labeled yet, which is here. Based on the notes next to it, we can tell that this note is 4. Now that we know what key we're in and what scale degrees are involved, we can move on to step 3, which is knowing the scale degrees well enough that you can hear them in your head before you start singing them. Now, obviously, we're probably not at that level yet, which is okay. I'll soon have a video tutorial explaining how to establish key centers in your head without the aid of an instrument. But for our purposes now, I'm going to go ahead and just give you your key center. Here it is. And just like we did before, we're going to prepare for the exercise by singing up and down the scale of the key we're in on scale degrees, and then practice singing the notes used in the exercise in a random order. Here's the first note of the scale, which is scale degree 1. And I'll lead you in with a 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now let's sing the scale degrees in a random order. Start out with scale degree 1 now. That was 1. Now try singing 3. That was 3. Now let's see if you can sing 2. That was 2. Now skip up to 5. Now try 4. And come back to 1. Okay, let's give it a try. Here's 1 again. And here's your 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's check it. 1, 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 5, 1. You may have noticed that this melody consisted of sequences of notes that were right next to each other. This is called stepwise motion, which is an attribute found in many, some might even say most, melodies. This is why singing up and down the scale of the key you're in beforehand is incredibly useful, because not only does it get all of the notes belonging to that key ringing in your ear, but it also gives you a sense of what it sounds like to sing the stepwise patterns which are likely to show up. Like I said before, the purpose of this video was to give you an overview of the skills necessary to sight sing well. And even though this was just a start, you've already gotten some great hands-on experience sight singing music. You familiarized yourself with the concept of key centers, practiced using your echoic memory, familiarized yourself with scale degrees 1 through 5, and got some good exposure to music notation. Please take the next step and view the other videos in this series once they're posted, in which I do a deep dive on memorizing key signatures and notes, and more importantly, I describe in detail several methods and exercises that will help you learn each individual scale degree so well that singing them becomes second nature. Well, that concludes the first installment in my video series on how to sight sing. Please tell your singer friends about it. Hit the like and subscribe buttons, making sure to click the bell icon so that you're always notified of future content. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, please consider clicking the PayPal link in the description below. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.